We're here. It's happening. I'm on my love seat in my bedroom and I'm just talking to you via my phone as opposed to my Blue Yeti mic with the pop filter and a carpeted closet and all that jazz. And this moment and slightly sketchy sounding Voxer recording is like years in the making. Not to put so much pressure on it, but like kind of, because for years I've been wanting to talk to you just like I talk to my friends and to my clients and to my family in group chats. I've been looking for a way to just remove all the other hoops and obstacles and just connect with you to see where things go, just to like start some conversations, and a lot of conversations that will really cover a lot of bases. But I feel like this is as close as we can get to having an offline conversation online. So that's what's going to happen here. I don't know. I might change the name of the podcast, even though On Her Terms is something I'm committed to. Like, I don't know if this is the On Her Terms podcast. I'm calling it that. There's the double meaning. There's actually lots of meanings to it. But, you know, words being the core of my business to start, and terms and words. This is me, what I have called like my On Her Terms chapter of life. There was the A Course About Copy part, and me creating my business in the first few years. That was Naptime Empires mode. And then I would say when we moved from Hawaii to Texas years ago, that was the start of this On Her Terms chapter, which is just really actually pausing long enough to reflect and be like, hang on, what are we doing? Who are we? Who am I? Where am I? When am I? And there's just been a whole lot of self-reflection, discovery, contemplation, processing, blah, 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 going on behind the scenes over here. So we're calling it On Her Terms for now. I do reserve the right to change it. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with the cover art because I just bought myself an Apple Pencil for my 9th business anniversary last weekend at the time I'm recording this, which is April 9th, 2022. We'll go on the record. Again, maybe this initial about episode. I may make episodes disappear. You can do that with Hello Audio. It's amazing. I might make episodes disappear. Maybe after 30 days. So like if you want to listen, then you want to listen and then poof, they disappear. I don't know. This is an experiment. Speaking of, I'm finally listening to the book, The Surrender Experiment, which I've started many times over the years and then quit. But I've been like giving it a real good go this last few days. And this is actually like a surrender experiment to me, where it's a practice in a different style of perfectionism, imperfectionism, and seeing that as being perfect. Because I'm not going to edit anything. I'm trying not to overthink. I'm absolutely going to overthink, but I'm really going to try not to overthink because, for example, whenever I'm done recording this audio, I could name it 5 different things. I started to actually write down the things that I could call this specific first audio. Self-expression as self-care, turning on the faucet, land the plane. Once upon a time I did a Facebook Live on the idea of how like creativity, the more we use it, the more we've got. And it's like when the airplanes are circling the airport and they just land and they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming. And it's not like, oh, we ran out. But if we never land the plane, then those creative ideas, I mean, eventually they got to go find another place to land because they're going to run out of gas or something. Like, so just land it, like get it moving. So this is going to be me landing the plane, champagne bottle, uncorking the bottle, because I have literally just kind of kept a lid on my expression and just had so many conditions and rules around it for so long. So this is why I like hate subject lines. Just feels so limiting, the constriction of it all. Like I understand it's important because you may or may not click this episode based on what it's called, but that's the kind of stuff going on in my brain that is keeping me from connecting with you, and I'm over it. It's April 9th, 2022, and I'm over it and I'm done. And for this next little while, I don't know how long this is going to go. I would love to just kind of share thoughts with you here. And then in the show notes episode, wherever you're listening to this, in your favorite podcast player, wherever you can see show notes, if you'll click to see that, if there are any links or things that I'm talking about specifically, I'll put them there. But then I also, in the universal footer section of my Hello Audio setup for this particular conversation, I'll have a link to a Google form where I invite and would love you to comment and like talk back to me through your thumbs or wherever. I mean, I assume you're on your phone if you're listening to a podcast, but basically in each podcast show notes section, I will link to this same Google form, and you can just be like, blah, 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 and just basically kind of text me back and share whatever comes up. If you have a thought you want to share, if something was particularly helpful in clarifying the way that you think about things, or you disagree with something or whatever, then that'll be a quick and easy way for you to just respond and let me know. Even while you're listening to the episode, you could be saying whatever you want to say. And then that way I can go in on my own time, dive in and read through. And then I can use that for reflections for future messages as well. I'm not even calling them episodes, like they are episodes, but I just feel like calling them messages. Some may be way longer or shorter than others. I don't have any plans or conditions other than just like opening my mouth and letting words fall out in a practice of seeing where the conversation may lead. So yeah, I would like to thank you for raising your hand and asking me to add you to this podcast feed to be part of this experiment and connecting with me in this way. I might, well, and you can always let me know in your comments if it's okay, or if you want me to use your name. I would never do that, like without your consent, at least on purpose. I would never do that. But I did want to read one message, you know who you are, that really just hit me right in the heart. It was one of the first responses that I got, and helped me see exactly why this is just the time and the experiment for me, for you, or for us, if you're interested in connecting with me, for now. So, private podcast sounds great. Yes, please add me. I've always loved your solo episodes the best. Your metaphors and stories really land with me, and I even remember many of them. The banana tree, the closing of the tabs, the wedding ring cleaning. And so topics for you to talk about. And then she shares a couple topics. And then she said, but I just think the general stuff that you would tell me if we were besties. So whatever's on your mind, that would be interesting. It's your storytelling and realness that make it helpful and engaging. And that means so much to me. So thank you. You know who you are. It means so much to me because it's just evidence that like I don't have to overthink it. And also that my wild, sometimes seemingly random metaphors actually stick and serve. And also that like I have so many Naptime Empires podcast episodes on this, on message and getting clear just by actually talking, and then figuring out what the heck you're even talking about by talking about it. And how sometimes if you're doing the thing, whether it's the email, the offer, the whatever it is for one person, even if that one person is you, then it's worthwhile. I say that, but it's also really beautiful to see it reflected back, that like just the way I want to express myself is actually valuable to other people. And I'm sharing that with you just because if you're listening to this, you probably have a lot in common with me, where you might tend to overthink and overanalyze and want to have things just right. And you create all these unnecessary hoops for yourself to jump through and whatever. And my hope for you is that hearing that kind of feedback inspires you to turn on the faucet, to land the plane, to see self-expression as self-care, to uncork the bottle if you've been holding on, so that you open yourself up to the opportunity to get feedback like that. Because the truth is, we need each other, right? Like, we're social beings. We're meant to be here to, like, you know, pass the ball back and forth over the net, to clarify our thinking. It's not that I expect you to agree with me. I don't even always agree with me, you know. Like, I might disagree with something that I document next week, you know, 3 weeks from now or whatever. But I also know that so much in my life I have like not shared stuff, because what if I do disagree with it? It's like, well, yeah, I will. And we're going to continue to grow and evolve and shift and change. But if that means that we're not ever then going to express ourselves until we have it all figured out, we're never going to share anything. And we need to share things as we go so that we can bounce ideas off of each other, clarify our own thinking, give each other ideas and kind of clues that, like a shortcut, maybe this helps you on your journey and you share something that helps me on mine. And so it's not about taking up any more space than we're here to take up, but it is about taking up all of the space that we are here to take up. So as indulgent and narcissistic sometimes as I have felt doing this way specifically may be or feel or be perceived or whatever, I just got to do it. And I'm doing it. So yeah. I've talked myself out of it so many times. I'm like, nobody cares, blah, blah, blah. But I'm over it because you are here because for whatever reason, you wanted to just tune in and you were curious, and maybe you were just curious about how Hello Audio works, or you have benefited in some way from being connected to me in an audio format or a written format or any format over the years. I would love to know, actually. Like, maybe that's the first question that I have for you in our Google form chat, where you can share as much or as little as you want to share, but like, what is it that makes you want to be connected in this way? And also know if you decide that you don't want to be, like, just delete and unsubscribe or unfollow or whatever. Like, you can do that too, at any time, using your own discernment and free will. If you're like, never mind, this is not at all what I was expecting. But other than that, I'll go ahead and wrap up this first message to let you know to expect the unexpected, in a way, that this is truly a creative experiment, that it is what I call with my clients fun comfortable AF. Like, I feel really, this is really fun for me because it feels like the most natural way for me to connect with you. And also, I have put it on a pedestal for so many years that's why it's taken me so long to do it. But it's happening now, which makes me feel alive and sparky, which is why I'm doing it. And what I'm hoping will spark through the phone inspiration cooties for you to consider taking even one baby step in the direction of whatever this is for you. Like, if there's a thing that's been circling your airport, an idea, a plane that's been circling your creative airport, and you're like, no, because I don't see where you're going to fit here on the runway. I don't know. I just don't have time for you. I don't have the right microphone, or I don't have the right audio, or I don't know exactly who I'm trying to speak, or why I don't have an offer lined up for them. Whatever your excuses are, and I'm sure they're brilliant ones, I'm hopeful that there's something that comes from me over here sharing without, I mean, there's always going to be a filter, like, because we're human. So I'm even thinking about things as I'm saying it still, but like, as unfiltered as I can be. I'm hoping that me sharing in this way sparks you to share or do the thing or take the action, whatever that looks like for you. Just so, one, you can prove to yourself that you're able to do fun, comfortable things. And two, that you can open yourself up to the feedback loop. Not that it's all about external validation or anything like that, but just, it's helpful. We're here with each other, for each other, for a reason. And you don't have to be creating in a silo or overthinking it in your Google Docs or wherever your recordings are, basically. That's what I'm saying. So this is going to be interesting. Or maybe it won't be. Either way, I would love to hear from you, like I said. So find the link wherever it is here in the show notes and tell me what you think. Tell me what you'd love to hear more about. And as far as I'm concerned, we can just cover the whole breadth. Life, biz, fam, all the things. Silly stuff, serious stuff. This is just an experiment. And by just, I mean, it's actually a really important, meaningful one to me. So thanks for being part of it. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Let's see where we go next. Okay, technically that was the end of the episode, but since you're still here, one, I'd love to thank you for spending part of your day with me, and two, I'd love to ask you if you would take 30 seconds, maybe 60, to leave a rating and review in your podcast app before you tap out today. If you've already done that, it's amazing. Please send me a screenshot so I can thank you personally, and know that sharing this episode with a friend has the same magical powers, and I deeply appreciate both. Also, in case you're listening to the end to see if I ever actually introduce myself, hi! My name is Nikki Elledge Brown. I'm the host and author of Naptime Empires and this here On Her Terms podcast. You can find me around the internet at Nikki Elledge Brown in most places, but what you may appreciate most is actually over at onherterms.com. It's what I call the insider library. It's where you can get inside scoop, first listen rights, email updates every time there's a new episode, and then special insider only bonus content. It's all over in our private feed. Okay, that's a wrap for real. I'll meet you in the next episode.